It's Wednesday night. It's November 15th, 2023. So you know what that means. A brand new episode of the Kicking Out Podcast, streaming live on the Kicking Out Podcast, Twitter/X channel, and on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Follow us on all social media platforms at Kicking Out Pod. I'm Tanner Lee, co-host Paul Zartman, Austin Shepard in the house. Fellas, how we doing?
It's Wednesday night. It's always a good night.
Amen to that.
It's an even better night because my computer's always been weird. That is the first time I've ever heard the intro.
Wow.
Live. So,
sounded good.
Yeah. I'm stoked for that.
It's a good night unless you're Paul White, right?
Yes.
Oh, the big man, tall Paul took quite the bump tonight.
Hey, let's be honest. You got to appreciate a wrestler of his era. Those guys never want to give it up. They want to do their damnedest to keep going. But when we saw him 2 weeks ago on the stage and try to throw a punch and then watched a little bit of him tonight, I mean, let's be honest, man. Unfortunately, he's not 63-year-old Sting who can still go a little bit. I mean, unfortunately, the dude's body is just done, and you hate to see it. I'm not making fun of him by any means, but
No.
And the bump he took tonight was awful. He hit the wrong part of the car. He hit the pillar on the windshield, which let's be honest, the way cars are designed nowadays, that's the strongest part. That's supposed to not flex to protect the occupants, and he hit the back of his head right on it.
Mm-hmm.
So
the back of his head and his hip, which we know is hip problems he's had. So, we'll get into that later when we're talking about the what would they call that? Like a Dragon street fight, since it was sponsored
I don't
by
know,
Sega.
Sega
Like a Dragon Liger or something like that.
Yeah, it should be a quick conversation.
Yes.
Yeah,
shit was awful.
Yeah, it was a typical AEW sponsored street fight. Not good.
Yes.
This might have been worse than the Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't think so.
It was bad.
It was pretty bad.
Maybe it was because I was only about a half a toddy in, and I'm thinking, what in the hell am I watching? I think I texted you guys WTF, right?
You did.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say WTF because I don't do that in text, but I'm trying not to get an explicit rating 3 minutes and 32 seconds into this.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there.
At least got to go double digits to make myself feel better.
And we do have full gear predictions tonight at the end of the show. So
yes,
if we don't get there during the pod, we'll get there during the predictions.
So with that being said, Shep, what are we drinking tonight?
We're drinking the normal Kettle One. I'm not even gonna get the bottle out because they still haven't sent me anything for sponsorship, assholes. But anyways, Kettle One, cherry bubbly. It's been a rough couple days in the old Shep barn. Been partying a little too much. I'm not gonna lie. Monday night was supposed to be a quiet night, and about 10:45, I had a couple buddies ambush on electric bikes. Buddy of mine lost his dog of 16 years, and they decided just to turn one up. And next thing I know, I'm out in the barn just freaking ripping fireball shots and drinking vodka like they're never gonna make it again. And then last night, I won't talk about last night. But anyways, so yeah, this is only number 2 tonight, and it's going down a little faster than the first.
I gotta say, Shep, you look good with the headphones. You sound good tonight. We don't feel like God's talking to us tonight. So,
well, I mean,
Shep's becoming a true podcaster.
Yeah, it took me 2 different sets of headphones to get to work, as I don't understand any technology. But if it doesn't sound echoey, that's all that matters.
It sounds a lot better than it did. So, mission accomplished.
Now nobody in Twitter world can bitch, okay?
Oh, they still will, but that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Somebody will say something about Shep.
That's okay.
That's all right.
Shep's the whipping boy of the podcast.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll send him to my boy Marty McSwirly, and he'll fuck him up. Damn it.
There it is. 5.5 minutes in.
Oh, so close.
About
well,
halfway
tonight,
to double digits.
tonight we started with a match. I don't remember this match being advertised. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. John Moxley, Wheeler Yuta versus Orange Cassidy and Hook.
I don't think Tony advertised it till first of the week on social media.
Okay, that would
Yeah.
that would make sense. That's how Tony rolls.
We didn't
So,
see it on Rampage or Collision last week.
Yeah.
No.
So, but I like how the match opened up. We saw Mox and Wheeler coming out of their entrance from somewhere else in the stadium, like or the arena, like they always do. Orange Cassidy and Hook ran into the crowd and ran up on them, started brawling right away. Thought that was a nice fresh start to the match. Good match, kick things off, back and forth. And honestly, I was a little surprised by the outcome of this match. I thought Mox and Mox and Yuta would take the loss and Yuta would eat the pin, but instead it was the reverse. Yuta and Mox went over Hook and Orange with Hook taking a pin, which we don't see very often.
I thought it was a little different. We did not see a lot of OC in the match.
No,
He played an arm injury early in the brawl, and this is probably the most we've ever seen Hook in the ring. And I thought there was a little bit of an odd exchange at the start of the match when he did a judo throw to Yuta, and Yuta popped up like, "What the hell, man?" Like he didn't sell it all. I thought it was really odd, and just wasn't flowing. But then I thought as the match went on, they both got better.
I'm still surprised we haven't got a Yuta Hook match for the FTW title at Full Gear, and maybe that gets added.
I think that could get added at 0 hour. You know, they usually have 2 matches there. That could kick off the show before the ROH tag titles.
Yeah, that would be fitting. Post match though was really entertaining. Mox pretty much claimed there's going to be a course correction this weekend when he grinds Cassidy into dust and walks out as champion. Pretty much told Orange he has no shot. And I don't know about you guys, but this promo kind of swayed my prediction for the match on Saturday.
Mine too.
I was thinking one way, and I came out of this promo thinking another.
I didn't like Orange's reaction. He looked scared.
It's still selling the, I hit him with the orange punch and he just ate it.
No sold it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
well,
that should be a good match.
I think I know what you guys are talking about with swaying your predictions. There's another little segment. It was a 30-second segment tonight that swayed my predictions, and I'll get into that later.
Okay. So Full Gear's kind of, at least for 2 matches, it's so and so 2. So you got Moxley and Orange Cassidy 2 for the international title. You also got Hangman Page, Swerve Strickland 2. But like we found out over the weekend, it's going to be a Texas death match.
That's what swayed my predictions, boys.
It's going to be a Texas death match.
You can't. Never mind. I'll get into it later.
And this, and Swerve and Prince Nana came out. Nana's just dancing up a storm, had the crowd dancing. Hangman, and he's doing this. Even did it in the ring when Hangman called him out for it, which was pretty entertaining. Hangman and Swerve get face to face. Now they can't touch. Tony Khan got on Twitter today and said if they touch, they're both done for 2023, and the match is off for Saturday. But they're going back and forth. Page is calling Swerve a coward for going to his house. He calls him a waste of human life. Claims he's dumber now than he was 2 years ago when he got fired. Says he doesn't have it in him to be a world champion. He can't cut it, claiming he's not the man he thinks he is. That's the reason his fiance left him and the reason his kids left him. I'm like, ooh, we are going there. But I'm guessing after Hangman's history of going off the cuff, this was probably pre-checked with Swerve. I don't think they want to go down that rabbit hole again.
Yeah, so I'm guessing he's talking when he got fired from NXT, right?
Yes.
And it said he was released, whatever.
Yeah.
And then all I could find is the guy's got 3 kids, but it has nothing it doesn't say anything about his spouses. So
yeah. But he's go back and forth. He said he's Prince Nana's just using him and making a living off his back. He's getting the weed from high school kids, and Hangman said he promises to beat Nana's ass after he's done with them. He's gotta take his weed. He calls Swerve a child, and it says he used to work with children for a long time, taught him lessons. Paige says he's the judge, jury, and executioner this weekend, points out that they couldn't touch each other, but nothing was said about Nana. He begins unloading on Nana in the ring. Swerve couldn't step in to help. Security came out, but Adam Hangman Page cleared house of security, and Swerve escaped up the ramp. That was really well done tonight.
Okay, so he says he's going to beat up Nana and steal his weed. Nana flips about stealing his weed. Can we talk about Swerve having to turn away because he was trying not to lose
laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know what I mean, and it could be, and I'm not judging, but I don't know what millennial cowboy smokes pot. So
I don't know, man. It's a different time.
I mean, it is a different time, and it could be. God damn it! This shit sucks.
And what was the crowd chant about weed? I couldn't really make it out. Was it
I
steal
couldn't hear
your
it either.
weed?
Yeah, I think it said that. I think
so.
But
Classic. Oh man,
The things you can say on AEW.
oh, it is unbelievable, isn't it? Next
well,
up,
that just shows you. Hold on, that just shows you how old Nana is to still carry weed and not carry gummies nowadays.
oh yeah,
Exactly.
Nana's been around a lot longer than Hangman.
yes,
Yeah, because I saw a picture over the weekend of Danielson versus Kamala with Nana as the ref.
Well, Nana's
And I
been
was
around
like, good Lord.
early 2000s when ROH
ROH,
was getting going. So he's been around since then. So
we then saw the Kingdom and Roderick Strong shown backstage. They call Adam Cole on the screen. Roderick says MJF is 100% the devil. Cole says that's not true. Questions if Strong's the devil, then hangs up.
I'm finally starting to like Adam to shutting Roderick up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I hear that one more time, Adam, and actually, when I watch televisions out in my echoey barn here, it sounds even worse, and it gets under my skin even worse. Like I'd rather hear nails on a chalkboard than hear that dumbass talk. So
I did enjoy a Collision though. He wrestled on Collision.
He did
just fine, and then puts the neck brace back on. So
yep, and then falls back into the wheelchair.
I can appreciate the gimmick. Don't get me wrong. I can appreciate it, but him just speaking is.
Yeah.
So Shep, which is more annoying, Big Bill, or hearing Roddy yell?
I hate them equally both.
I think I'm going to call Big Bill Bill Big from now on.
Bill Big.
I really want to know how much. Hold on. I really want to know the lack of sleep and how much caffeine Tony Khan had in him when he came up with that dumbass idea. Okay, I think Tony Khan is a great mind, but there's a lot of dumb shit he does, and that was one of them.
Yep.
So,
anyways.
Yep. We then got the lone women's match of the night, but they gave this match a decent amount of time.
They did.
They had a slow start, a hot middle, and a shitty finish.
Yes. Sky Blue against Red Velvet. Winner competes for the TBS Championship against Chris Statlander and Julia Hart. That's her name. At Full Gear for the TBS title on Saturday. And I don't think the result was ever in doubt. I think we all thought Sky Blue was going to win. But like you said, it was kind of a rocky start, but got real hot in the middle. And then the finish, Sky Blue's Code Blue was not smooth at all at the end.
No. And part of me wants to say that's still Red Velvet shaking off the ring rust, but I don't know, because she's hit it a lot here lately, and it's not looked like that. Maybe it was just a slip up. Maybe it was something that else happened. Maybe she was just pissed at Red Velvet for all we know.
There's just a little hesitation there. It just wasn't very smooth.
And I'd have to go back and rewatch to see who that move is more on.
Right.
Is it more on Sky or Velvet? I didn't go back and rewatch.
Right. And, I did like. I thought her gear was cool, the Scooby Doo inspired gear tonight. Maybe she's been wearing that.
She's been wearing that for a while.
Yeah, she's been wearing that.
Okay, but good stuff, and I like it. Triple threat. That storylines have been good. So triple threat for TBS title. I can get on board with that. We then saw a video package for Miro and Daniel Garcia's match coming up on Collision on Friday. Special Friday start for Collision. And he talks about CJ Perry bringing the worst out of him. I don't know. This Redeemer gimmick, I like his character. It's just this whole storyline of CJ Perry is very confusing to me.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, she's got Andrade now. It's just odd. I don't know.
So I was flipping through because I was going to try to find the finish of that women's match and send it to you, Shep. I'm hoping this is just the internet being the internet. Otherwise, we're going to see Roosh take on Dax Hardwood at Collision. I don't know if that was the actual graphic. I didn't catch it, but it's on Twitter.
I saw it. I saw the match be announced, but I did not obviously read the names. But that'd be hilarious if it was.
It's not the first time. I got one of them over here. The first Dax figure that AEW released says Hardwood, not Hardwood.
I mean,
it's in hilarious. A couple different photos.
Yep.
I mean,
that's the third one I found like that.
I mean, with a mustache like that, you should change your fucking name, right?
I'm sure that's been mistaken for him all his life. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Is he going to come out to, since he's got the stash? Is he going to come out to cheap, cheesy 70s porno music?
Well, I would say something about Blue Chew, since most professional wrestling podcasts have Blue Chew sponsored, but no free ads. No free ads. Nope. No free ads. Not doing it. Nope. Anyways, the next segment, we saw Mariah May, the new AEW signee of last week. She was showing with RJ City, trying to get into Tony Storm's locker, but Luther wouldn't let her in, and then he finally does, and she tells Tony Storm she's a huge fan, but Tony says she isn't signing autographs. May tells Storm she'll do whatever she needs, while Storm let Luther know that she wants a tune-in match booked for Friday, which is Emery Sakura. All right. I did like the black and white to color. That was
yeah.
Cool. But speaking of Luther, we had a comment on YouTube, and I'm going to bring it up so I can get the guy's name correctly. But he wanted to know, this guy watches every week. He wanted to know why we are so hard on Luther, why we don't enjoy Luther's work.
It's not that we don't enjoy it per se. I think it goes back more to when he had the weird little makeup on his forehead. Yeah, but there's a line around it too, or something. I don't remember. And his work with Brandy is where my dislike for him comes.
Yeah, it's TGY is his name on YouTube. So thank you, TGY. For me, it's just they made a whole big deal about him when he was the Nightmare Collective that never went anywhere, and it just was like fell flat. I felt like nobody knew who he was, and he's just Jericho's buddy, pretty much.
Shep, thoughts?
He was pretty much saying Serpentico and Luther were way more entertaining than a lot of teams. That was pretty much the point he was making.
Don't get me wrong.
Serpentico is a hell of an athlete.
Yes.
I'll give him that. I feel like Luther came in because he's Jericho's buddy. And I did not watch Elevation and Dark very regularly, which I feel like that's where they featured him on. So
yes,
he wasn't my cup of tea. And that's me being as nice as I can, because I really wanted to say, TGY, are you Ray Charles? Okay.
I'm sure he'll give you a comment.
The guy was the shits on Dynamite. And when we did see him. Now, this little gimmick he's got going on with Tony Storm, it might fit him. And he might it might work, because I think Tony Storm is super entertaining, and this new gimmick she has, I think, is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So if he plays his cards right, he can get a little rub off of this and get a little exposure. So it's the best thing that's happened to him since he's been in AEW.
I agree with that. Well, speaking of Serpentico, Samoa Joe has a squash match tonight against a guy named John Cruz, aka Serpentico without the mask. So he tried to kick Samoa Joe, ended up being dropped by a big boot. Joe hits a series of jabs, then enziguri. Cruz tried to jump from top rope, but Joe avoided it quickly, made him submit. So pretty quick squash match after the match. Joe extended his offer of friendship to MJF, but warns him that time is limited. He says that he is inevitable, whether MJF has his friendship or not.
And the dude gave him the WTF as he jumped off the rope. He's like,
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yep.
That was awesome. Even John Crew or whatever his name is, when he did the dive, like he turned his head and said, "What the hell?"
yeah.
Like he
I
played
love
it
it.
up well. And it's funny that I did not realize that was Serpentico without a mask until you just said it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I noticed, I'm like, man, this jobber. Yeah, there it is. I think it's great. Like, what the hell? Like, I thought this jobber had like really good expressions and everything. So it makes sense. It makes sense that he's not really a jobber. Well, he's a jobber.
So you guys think Joe teams up with MJF on Saturday?
Unless it's a super surprise that Tony Khan wants to debut on Zero, or it's got to be Joe.
Well, while we're talking about surprises and Tony Khan tweeted out today, and I'm going to bring up the exact tweet because I don't want to read it wrong. Before we talk about the Young Bucks match here.
Well, while you do that, for all those questioning it still, per Fightful, Punk is not the devil.
Yes.
I saw that today.
Yes. And
I do not have the subscription to that like Tanner does, but apparently SRS Sean Ross Sapp, there we go, said that they've got the inside story for the
he pretty much said if
members.
it's Punk, then everybody's gonna be shocked because then they've got work themselves. He also said, to his knowledge, it's not Britt Baker either. So, and he said whoever's behind the mask and the stooges with them, not stooges, that's not the right word, but the attackers with them are who they're supposed to be revealed. So unlike Redemption when or whatever that was called during the COVID when the WWE did, they had different people in the mask. One week and really were. So no. But Kota Ibushi is all elite. That was tweeted out tonight by Tony Khan. But the tweet I was referring to is he tweeted out 5 hours ago, AEW has agreed to terms with one of the world's best wrestlers, a pro who is known and respected by virtually every AEW fan. They'll come to LA to sign their contract this Saturday on pay-per-view at Full Gear. Any guesses?
I don't know if it's time yet. Ziggler's
too early. Looked it up. He's still got 20 some days, maybe 30 some days. Because you got a 90-day, right?
Correct.
So yeah, he's still a month out. Ospreay's still, his contract doesn't expire till
I think it's him though. I think they've worked something out.
Because he's going to work for both companies. It's the best of both worlds for him.
Because same thing with Mercedes. If it's her contract's up early next year too. But like I said, those two make sense to me because of the working relationship. Tony could have worked something out to get him out of their contract a little early.
Yeah, he might have.
I hope it's Ospreay. Let's put it that way. And the way he worded it, like who AEW fans respect, makes me think, and they're familiar with, makes me think it's somebody that's already worked in AEW, which Mercedes technically hasn't. She's been shown on TV, but at All In. But
it's Tyrus.
No, I'm done. If it's Tyrus, you guys have the podcast. I'm done.
Nope. If it's Tyrus, Shep is running this thing solo. You better build a new crew, Shep.
I was gonna say if it's Goldberg, then I quit too. So
I'm right there.
I'll be running it solo if it's William Goldberg. But we got
Bill Goldberg.
We got a fun tag match tonight. Young Bucks versus Penta and Commander. We know the great chemistry between the Bucks and the Lucha Bros. I thought Commander filling in for Phoenix didn't miss a beat tonight. I thought this was a very entertaining match.
It was. I like Phoenix better.
I do too. But I thought,
I know is he still working on visa issues?
He's got to be, unless he's banged up again. So. But in the end, the Bucks get the win in their backyard. But it was interesting. Nick Jackson hit a double low blow behind the official's back, and then a Judas effect sending a warning to Chris Jericho, and then they followed up with a BTE trigger. So we see some heelish Bucks action, and they got booed a little bit right in their backyard tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
And in the backstage interview, that was more of a heelish Buck.
Yes. They got interviewed backstage. Omega confronts them, asks them, is that who they want to be? Omega asks if they can keep it clean at the pay-per-view. And they say their heat is with Jericho, not him. Jericho then appears, and they argue that Matt attacks Jericho from behind, and Nick gets in on it as well. So
the best part was the security guard with dreadlocks is trying to hold Chris Jericho back, and Jericho basically puts his hand on his forehead and shoves him down like, kid, I'm Chris Jericho.
Yep.
I thought that was the best part of the segment. So.
Yep. It was good stuff. And I've seen the IWC crap on this match a lot because it seems like a lot of people are over Jericho. Jericho hadn't bothered me. I think he's putting talent over more in 2023 than he ever has. So he's not bothering me. But I can see why some people are tired of him.
You know what though? His match with Takeshita and DDT, it was a good match. The guy can go for his age.
Mm-hmm.
Is he as good as he was 10, 15 years ago? No, but I mean that's common sense. But the guy can still put on a really good match, and he did with Takeshita and DDT. It was great. They
didn't put him over.
But they went like 33 minutes.
Yeah,
he didn't put him over in Takeshita's home promotion, but Jericho's already put him over in Jericho's home promotion.
Right.
So it works. It works. People need to. Internet sucks. People suck.
Well, the internet ran wild with this next match, the Like a Dragon street fight, sponsored by Sega, which is Powerhouse Hobbs, Kyle Fletcher, Konosuke Takeshita, and Brian Cage of the Donkhouse family versus Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, and Paul White. This match was, and I'm going to skip over before this match happened. The Guns had a squash match.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just going to skip over that. I'm not even going to talk about it.
Pretty Peter Avalon and that one guy who fills in when the Bucks need
the guy who was
stand-in.
He was Leatherface that one night. So
and he was a creepy stalker on BTE at one point. I mean, can't ever remember the guy's name. But
this street fight was chaotic. It was all over the place. We saw tables get broken. We saw Kyle Fletcher go off the ramp. Chokeslam off the ramp into a table. His head smacked the table. He also had a huge handprint from a slap. We saw Kota Ibushi on a bike hitting people with pipes, and then
Brian Cage a bicycle.
Laid him out. Brian Cage was laying people out all over the place. We saw, as we talked about at the start of the pod, we saw Will Hobbs suplex Paul White off the trailer onto a car, real nasty. Never saw Paul the rest of the match, which I thought the ending was setting up for Paul to come back in, but he never did. I don't know if that was planned or not.
It's because he's dead.
Kept catching the ramp in view, so you kept wanting to look that way.
Yeah, it was chaos all over the place. I mean, we had that one spot with Cage doing a suplex to Omega from the top to the turnbuckle through the table. That was nasty. A lot of craziness.
I don't know how he didn't die.
Did you talk about how Paul White split Fletcher's head open with not hitting the table correctly? Yep,
he smacked one table, went through the other. Yeah,
I was making a drink. I figured it was a good time to make
he had a big old handprint on him too from the slap, the chop. But we talked about Ibushi going down on the bicycle, hitting people with the pipes until Brian Cage laid him out, broke him in half pretty much.
Those pipe shots were about as hard as Hogan's chair shot.
I was thinking the same thing when he was doing it. The same
Taz with the Wicked Witch of the West theme going on there at the very end of that. That was the best part of that.
Yeah. And then in the end, Hobbs was looking like a beast, so they finally taped him up, even taped his mouth shut.
Hold on. If you're that effing strong,
you can get out the tape.
Duct tape is not going to hold you.
Yeah.
Especially when it's loose.
I mean, they should have. I mean, the only way they should have done this correctly is if they would have used handcuffs. Okay. But they chose duct tape, which obviously doesn't stick to sweaty skin.
No.
As they show that around his when they try to duct tape his mouth. but it was just as bad as his hands. Like, come on, you're building this guy to be an absolute beast. He just body slammed Paul White onto a car with no assistance, and he can't get out of some damn duct tape. It just,
Yeah.
This is the stuff about AEW that just pisses me off. This is the stuff that Jim Cornette is going to have a feast with.
Oh, he will.
On his podcast. This stuff he will just magnify and bury AEW as much as he can. And as much as I like AEW, this is the stuff that just gets under my skin. Like, come on, you guys can be so much better. You had Chris Jericho, you had Kenny Omega, you had Ibushi, and this is the product we got. You had 3 of the greatest wrestlers that I might ever see in my lifetime. And this is what you're going to put on national television? Come on, man.
Yep.
That's about as PG as a rant as I can give.
Yeah. It was something. It was something. In the end, we saw Omega hit Cage with a knee strike. Jericho hit him with a bat. Then Omega followed up with a V-trigger and one-winged angel. So Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Kota Ibushi, and tall Paul White are victorious, but Paul was nowhere to be seen, so he did not get his arm raised.
And with Brian
R.I.P.
Cage. Yeah, R.I.P. Paul White, you're done. You notice the Don Callis family didn't take the pin here.
Nope, and Callis says Cage is dead to him pretty much. So
yeah.
And thoughts with Sammy Guevara. I mean, I know him and his wife are gonna have a baby soon, but he's still not cleared.
No, he's got some serious concussion.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Maybe he needs to stop doing 450 splashes off of 25-foot ladders to the floor from the middle of the ring.
And then we closed the show tonight with a promo from MJF, or a segment from MJF. We knew he was going to come out and talk. He apologized to the Acclaim. He says he hopes they feel better. All he wanted to do was be a world champ. He spent his life making that a reality. He's done that. However, the air at the top of the mountain is thin. He's seeing people climbing to shove him off the top. He admits he's afraid. He's afraid he could lose everything in the blink of an eye, but he's afraid he would let the fans down. He's afraid he's not willing. He is afraid, but he's not willing to quit. He's not willing to give up his spot. They'd best send an army to get his ass to come down from the mountain. He doesn't think anybody can take him down. He's better than you, and you know it. He also says that whoever stole his mask, he'll find out who they are, and there will be hell to pay. Jay White then appears, says MJF is embarrassing himself, claiming that MJF is the villain, and he always has been. He points out that MJF has told us time again he is the devil, and he's not the people's hero. He then says the fans mean nothing to MJF because he hasn't changed. White claims MJF knows he is speaking the truth right now, and that MJF knows his days are numbered. The rest of the Bullet Club, Gold appear, try to jump MJF, but MJF's taking it to him. But then he decides to brag to the fans, turns around, Juice Robinson hits him in the face with the ring, and then the faction takes control. Switchblade hits him with a Blade Runner and stands over the body, holding the championship up as we go off the air.
Okay, so real quick, the only thing that would have, I got to go back to the street fight real quick because I was going to say this and then we got distracted and moved on. The only thing that would have made that street fight halfway tolerable, JR on commentary, just so we could hear him say, "Oh my God, he's dead.
My God, he's broken in half. God is my witness."
Well, I mean,
his commentary about that.
Yeah, that was...
between Fletcher, Omega, and Paul White, those spots, JR rambling off about it would have just been perfect.
I'm curious to listen, and I will listen tomorrow. I haven't listened in a while. But I'm curious to see what Busted Open has to say about Paul White. Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer, and they have Mark Henry on there, who is obviously an AEW guy. So, and I'm shocked we haven't seen a Mark Henry segment in an in-ring segment. But I have a feeling they're going to say the same thing I said tonight, but they're going to be more politically correct.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. Their podcast will be up tomorrow morning. Bully Ray does a live show after dark, so Busted Open after dark, right after Dynamite. So
and Bully Ray can be very, very harsh.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Well, with all that said, guys, what is your? Let's go with wrestler of the night. Wrestler of the night. Who is your wrestler of the night?
Wrestler of the night.
Go
Ooh.
ahead, Paul.
Come on, Tall Paul.
No. I'm short compared to that guy.
Short Paul.
Hey, yeah, short Paul. No, don't change it, Tanner. I'm watching you.
I'm not messing with it tonight.
Man, I'm just gonna go Samoa Joe. I love watching him in his squash matches, and I love the fact that he brought back the step away as somebody jumps off the top rope or off the corner or somewhere.
Good one. I'm going Hook. This is the most in-ring work we've seen Hook do, and I really think this kid's got a stupid amount of potential, and was thoroughly entertained by him and Wheeler Yuta tonight too. So Yuta was up there with me as OL.
I'm going to go with Commander tonight, being thrown in there with Penta instead of Phoenix. I mean, he's no Ray Phoenix, but I don't think he's that far off either. I thought the chemistry was pretty darn good between him and Penta against the Bucks, and that's my type of match. So I like the high flying athleticism. So Commander. I don't think I've ever picked him either. So
All right.
rating for tonight's show: the go home show for Full Gear.
Which I did not think it. There was only like two segments that really built Full Gear. One of them was the Swerve and Hangman segment. Then we got the MJF segment at the end. But other than that, we really did not build towards this.
This was nothing like. Remember, Shep? I think last month it was just you and I on the podcast after the go home show for Wrestle Dream, and we're like, "That's the best go home show AEW's ever done."
But tonight
kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. I'll go first, Paul.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
And I know you guys give it a little high, get a little higher score, but I almost dipped down into the fives, but I didn't. I'm going 6.1.
6.1.
I'm not much off from you there. I'm at 6.3.
Well, we're all in the sixes tonight, but I was imagining this. I'm the high guy. I went 6.8 tonight. So, but 6 is pretty low for me. So
they didn't deserve. Well, I was hoping you didn't do this. They didn't deserve a 6.9 because it's a legitimate number, and they didn't.
I thought about it, but the street fight itself just took that away. So,
yeah.
Yep.
want to kick a fat kid and call
they better have got a fat paycheck for that match from Sega. I'm sure they did.
What's the old Theo Vaughn thing? I want to kick a fat kid at Kmart. I wanted to tonight so bad.
Well, now it's the fun part of the podcast where we do our predictions and our confident points for the pay-per-view. This one is for Full Gear. So how it works, as of right now, we have 9 matches. So we will put our 9-point value on the match we're most confident in, 1-point value on the match we're least confident in. Each match has a unique number to it. You can only use the number one time. So I am the reigning defending KOP predictions champion, even though I do not have the title with me right now.
Where's that? Where's that?
I'm going to get it after I'm victorious and retaining it on Saturday. I'm going to make sure I get it.
Buy a new one.
It might come to that, Paul. It might come to that.
I mean, I went cheap when we did this because it was just you and I. It's got our names on it. I think it's time for a new one now that we've got Shep.
It might be.
I found some really cool ones. Again, check out undisputedbelts.com.
No free ads, but check them out.
The KO. Yeah, well, they provided the KOP belt, so they kind of get free advertisement.
Are they the ones that Dax Hardwood was promoting as well?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't remember.
Because he had a little promotion going on when he did his short podcasting career, and then he got way too much effing heat on him for being too real, which is bullshit, but whatever.
Hopefully he picks it back up one of these days.
But they were doing a limited edition belt, and I can't remember the company he was doing it through. So,
but we'll start with the 0 hour match, which is for the ROH tag titles, MJF and to be announced versus the Guns.
Tanner, you're the champion. You go first.
Well, I am taking MJF and to be announced, which I think will be Samoa Joe, for 4 confident points.
I'm just here to be wrong, but I'm going MJF and himself for 7 points.
I'm joining the crew. I'm going MJF and to be determined for 6.
All right, I'm the low man there. International title: Orange Cassidy versus John Moxley 2. This journey for the international title has been interesting, to say the least, the last couple months.
So we talked about it earlier. We're in the themes of 2 tonight, and the main 2 is Hangman and Swerve, and that story is getting very personal, and I think they're doing a really, really, really good job with it. So I think we'll get it extended, meaning I think Hangman
Rubber match.
We'll get a rubber match. So I don't think we're going to get 2 rubber matches. So I'm going John Moxley 4 points.
Paul?
Man, I am almost right there with you. I was thinking Orange Cassidy all the way up until tonight, and the match and everything after the match swayed me over to Moxley for 5.
It swayed me the other way. I had Moxley ready, and now it makes me think that Orange Cassidy can't afford to lose. I'm taking Orange Cassidy for 3. But it's a real toss-up. It was a tough one. I'm surprised I have 2 others underneath that one. So how about the TBS Championship? Chris Statlander, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. Triple threat. Paul, lead us off on this one.
All right. So I think we're going to see the story between Julia and Sky Blue continue to play out in this. I'm a Statlander fan through and through. I've said Statlander for every other time. I'm going Sky Blue this time for 1 point. This was a tough one to choose, but the way the crowd's pushing Sky, it's time to give her something at least, even if it's a 2-week run.
I think Sky Blue is an up and comer, and I think they got a lot with her. I don't think it's her time right now. I'm just going Statlander for 5.
I think this is a KOP first, where we have a triple threat and we all 3 pick somebody different. I'm taking Julia Hart for 6. I think she's a talent the crowd really likes, and when that happens, Tony likes to get a title on somebody. So
I had it until last week because we knew Sky Blue was going to end up in this. But when Sky stepped out from behind Statlander, that's when my thought process kind of went to Sky.
That match is probably going to make or break this whole thing. So,
and it always comes down to women's match.
It
always comes down to women's match.
Always. And there's no Jade for me to fall on like there was last year every time.
No, she's too busy working at the Performance Center today.
Yeah, she's still 0-0 record over there.
Well, I mean, it broke wrestling Twitter today that she was at the Performance Center. Well, yeah, she's going to go work out, dumbasses.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nope.
It pissed me off today.
There was a few things on the internet that pissed me off today. So
I've been very irritable this week. So stupid stuff like that from stupid people just piss me off.
People suck.
And that is why I avoid the internet wrestling community.
Yeah. Smart man.
Well, there's not a lot of. Sorry to interrupt, Tanner.
Yeah, you're fine.
Hey, let's be honest, guys. When you go take a shit, what else are you going to do? You're going to look on Twitter and you're going to look on wrestling. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
The days of the magazine when you're on the shitter or reading the newspaper are gone. Hell, our town doesn't even have a damn newspaper anymore. So you can't read the damn newspaper on the shitter. So you got to read Twitter. So, damn it, that's what you're going to do.
FultonCountyPost.com. There you go, Shep.
Again, it's not a paper. It's on the internet.
It's digital.
Okay, well, in that point, go find the veteran Jack Vaughn and watch his stuff. He is absolutely hilarious, and his big thing is #ban the super kick.
Well,
he didn't like the thigh slap, right?
He makes so much fun of the thigh slap, it's not even funny.
Well, speaking of thigh slaps and super kicks, how about the Young Bucks versus the Golden Jets? And this, the elite matches always kill me. They always kill me one way or the other in these.
I love that. Was it Nick Jackson earlier week? Like somebody asked him why they're doing this. He's like, because we want to get booked on the show. Like,
Yeah, it was either this or we're not on the show.
It's either this or we're not going to be on the show.
Yep.
But there's a little bit of a oh God, what do I want to say here? Help me out. A stipulation to the match.
Yes.
Because if Omega and Jericho win, they take the number one contenders or the title shot for the tag team championships away from the Bucks. So we got a little bit of a
and if the Bucks win, the Golden Jets can't be a team anymore. So
there you go.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll go first. I got the Bucks for 3 points.
Oh, damn you, Shep. Now I'm gonna explain this, and it's gonna take a little bit of time. But it is for 3 points, so that's on you, Shep. I was all for the Golden Jets winning this thing earlier today until the graphic for All In pre-sale came up. Because if you look at that graphic, it is divided faces and heels. Omega's on the heel side, Jericho's on the face side. I don't know why, but that just makes me think, all right, the Bucks are going heel. Kenny will follow eventually. And then Kenny dropping a new shirt today that kind of a little bit different for Kenny style shirt. So I went the Young Bucks. 3 points.
Well, we are different here. I went Golden Jets for 1. I don't really know why. I mean, they got a new shirt on shopaew.com, and I just think there's more to this chair. I think they eventually will have a rivalry again, Jericho and Omega. I think they got to be partners for a little bit. So,
yeah. I don't see them. The big thing is the tag titles because I don't know. I don't see them taking that chance away from the Bucks. There's too much positive things going on with the Bucks towards the tag titles right now that I think we're due for a Bucks tag title run here shortly.
Yeah, the tag team division's so hard to predict right now. Speaking of the tag team titles, on the line, 4 teams: LFI, House of Black, FTR, and Big Bill and Ricky Starks.
And this has got no build up at all.
No, it's 3 teams have tension, and then there's the champs.
Yeah, and it's been one of those collision rampage type of feuds, if you ask me, between these guys. Because my introduction to the fact that this match was even happening came at Collision. I mean, I knew it was happening, but seeing everybody who was involved happened at Collision when Starks and Bill said, oh yeah, we're not going to even look at those guys, let alone wrestle them.
Yeah.
But I went Kings of the Black Throne for 2. House of Black, Kings of Black Throne, whichever way you want to go.
Okay.
Does Austin pick his boys?
I went FTR for 1.
At least you kept it low.
Well, here the only hope I got is we know we're going to get an FTR versus Bucks at some point, and if the Bucks beat the Golden Jets and keep their number 1 or their title shot, it's got to be against FTR. So, and hopefully we can get, I don't know, God, actually here's a pipe dream. Let's have the AEW tag team titles defended or represented January 4th at the Tokyo Dome at Wrestle Kingdom. Let's have the Bucks versus FTR for the AEW titles.
That is a pipe dream.
That is a pipe dream that could happen.
Good.
Because Tony
Good.
Khan doesn't sleep, drinks a lot of coffee, and that's it.
Well, I think we can agree the one team that's probably not going to win this is LFI. So once again, we all differ. I'm taking Ricky Starks and Big Bill to defend their titles for 2 points.
All right.
I just can't. I will never pick. I will
I know
never
you
pick.
won't.
I will never pick Big Bill. Never.
I know you won't.
Never.
I know you
never.
won't. Texas Death Match: Hangman Page versus Swerve Strickland 2.
All right.
This is gonna go to rubber match. I got sorry, Paul. I interrupted.
No, I was just gonna say you kind of have been talking about this all night, so lead us off.
I got Hangman Page for 8.
Ooh. All right. Very confident. I went Hangman for 4.
I went Hangman for 7. So we're all kind of on the same line there. 3-on-3 tag match, trios tag match. Sting, Darby, and Adam Copeland making his AEW pay-per-view in-ring debut versus Christian Cage, Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne. I think we're all on the same page here.
Sting doesn't lose.
Copeland's not gonna lose.
Copeland is not gonna lose in his debut.
Yeah.
How many? Shep, you cut out on my end. How many points?
Oh, sorry, I got.
He cut out again.
It looks like he said 7.
7.
7. Okay.
Okay. All right. I went 9 for Sting, Darby, and Copeland.
I went 9 as well. No way Sting's gonna lose his first match at this point, and Adam's not losing his first in-ring pay-per-view match either. So.
And you didn't mention those 3 are accompanied by Ric Flair.
Woo!
Yeah, maybe I purposely forgot that.
He can take a bump.
No.
He's been cleared. He can medically take a bump.
No. I don't want to see anybody dying.
I'm just saying he can take a bump, guys.
Okay, fine. He can take a bump. Let him take a spear from Tanner's Goldberg.
Nope, let him take the suplex off the trailer onto the car. No, actually don't. He literally would die.
Like he might die. He might die. Luckily, Paul White has some broad shoulders that maybe took some bump that didn't snap his neck in two.
Yeah. So 2 more matches here. The AEW Women's Title: Hikaru Shida versus Toni Storm. Timeless Toni Storm.
I went Timeless Toni Storm for 6.
Ooh, that's a big one, Paul. I went Toni Storm for 2.
I went Toni Storm for 5. So feel bad for Shida. Another short reign, but Toni Storm's hot with the crowd. Tony likes that. So.
And
all right. In the main event
time.
AEW World Title, MJF versus Jay White.
Well, it's the only one I haven't picked yet, guys. It ain't happening. I got MJF for 9.
I got MJF for 8.
I got MJF for 8 as well. It's not his time to lose it just yet.
No.
So.
And as good as Jay White is not a guy to take that belt off of him.
Right. You've got 2 other opponents already set up for MJF, so
yeah. And World's End's right in his backyard in Long Island.
Yep.
At the end of the year, so
yeah.
Yep.
That's why Samoa Joe is his partner makes sense. They then have the match at World's End. Oh, look, MJF goes into 2024 for the bidding war as champion.
Or Joe takes it off him.
Ooh.
I'm not showing my cards yet.
And actually, MJF came out this week on a podcast and said, look, it all comes down to the money. AEW has been great to me. They've been this, and this, but let's be real. It all comes down to the money.
Yep.
Now, whether people think he's already signed and he's still just playing the gimmick, to me, it's 50-50. but he's
What
going
are you
to play.
gonna
He's going to play that up.
What are you gonna do if the contract signing Saturday is MJF? What if Tony Khan leads us on
That'd be pretty
and
badass.
Saturday it is MJF?
So that could work. You're right, Paul. Usually the shit you think of is crazy, but that might work. If we don't have an announcement before the main event, MJF wins the main event. Tony Khan comes down with the contract and signs it. That could work, Paul.
It could.
Not a bad idea.
I mean,
and then the crowd obviously pops big when he says, "Hey, we're signing for a 5-year, 3-year, 4-year, whatever contract."
Well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good pay-per-view like always. And
here's another thing I want to see. Well, we're talking about pipe dreams. I want to see MJF wrestle January 4th at Tokyo Dome.
You're all about Tokyo Dome.
It's a magical show. So far,
he gets up at like 2 a.m. to watch this thing.
That's true. That's true.
Last year I got up at 3, and I remember telling the wife, like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch this." She's like, "That's fine." I put a pile of laundry in front of the television. You need to fold the shit. So she came down at like 6 something, and I had all this laundry folded, and she's like, "Oh, you were serious?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm serious. I'm watching Wrestle Kingdom." She goes, "You're an idiot." Whatever.
That's all right.
Me. You married me.
We have fun. We have fun.
So,
and it might have been the only wrestling show Shep made it through without a drink.
I had to go to work that day, so yeah. As much as I do love my Bloody Marys. I can only have a little bit of Bloody Marys, but I do love them. I love champagne and orange juice, little mimosas. I'm not white girl wasted, but I like them. But I was going to work that day because it's on a Tuesday, isn't it? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because the New Year's Eve's a Sunday. So it must be like a Thursday, whatever. I'll have to go to work.
It is a Thursday.
Yeah, I'll definitely get up and watch it and not have a Bloody Mary. Or maybe I will and just call in sick.
There you go. So
we didn't hear anything.
No.
Well, boys, I got to bounce. So if you guys are going to talk about anything else, I am signing off right now. But good luck, full gear, and I'm looking forward to having that belt around my shoulder next week.
I'm just glad that the belt's already in Rochester and I can just bring it back over here.
Yeah, we will see. It's going to come down to like 2 matches, so
yeah.
But
yeah. All right, well, take it easy, Tanner, and we'll talk soon.
See you guys.
All right, Shep, with him out of the way, now we can conspire against him. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here on a Wednesday night?
Did you watch any of the Cody stuff this week?
I did not.
So
do we want to hit the magical twanger that makes some noise from Cody?
Yeah, I like.
So, what do you guys want to talk about?
There we go. What do you want to talk about, Shep?
So Cody and Jay had a tag team title rematch against the Judgment Day for the titles, and Drew McIntyre got involved and cost them the titles. Okay, and when this whole War Games thing started, I said, I think I texted you guys, isn't War Games normally 5 guys? And everybody said, yeah. But they were just going on with 4. But all of a sudden, here comes Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre is going to be the 5th guy for the Judgment Day. And now we're going to have a mystery opponent or a mystery partner for Team Cody. And we kind of know who it is, or we kind of have a good guess, and we're all going with the one and only Randy Orton.
Yeah, that would be a big pop.
So my question is, this gets us through Survivor Series, okay? And then after Survivor Series, we officially go into WrestleMania season, right? With Royal Rumble. So
Yeah.
how do we transition Cody to be in a predominant role to go into WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia?
That's interesting.
Man,
Man.
he's already won the Rumble, so I don't think that's the case. I don't think he needs to win the Rumble again.
No, but I'm still going with he needs to lose matches leading up to the pay-per-view before Mania. And then he comes out the next night on Raw and says, I know I'm not doing very good here, but I want one more shot at Roman Reigns for that title. And Roman goes, look, you can't win at a pay-per-view. I'll gladly take you on. No problem. Will it happen? Probably not. But I think that would be the way to do it. It'd really get the fans behind Cody, because 90% of them say Cody's going to win at Mania anyway.
Well, here's what I don't want to see. We saw this week him and Seth Rollins said, look, we don't like each other, but we can agree on one night against the Judgment Day. Okay. I don't want to see a Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at Rumble and Cody lose to Seth.
Right.
For the, what do they call it now? The WWE Championship or World Championship?
World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Big gold belt with a WWE and smack dab in the middle of it and the eagle.
I don't want to see that.
I don't either.
But coming out of Survivor Series, I don't understand how we can, I'm not fucking Uncle Vince, but I don't understand how WWE could keep Cody elevated all the way till April to this WrestleMania. Cody came out this week and said, hey, if Rock's involved, whatever. I don't care. I'm still Cody Rhodes. I thought that was pretty good from him. But I still don't see the future that WWE can, path out for him. I don't know.
Right.
Because if he doesn't win the belt at WrestleMania 40, then we will never talk about Cody Rhodes on this podcast ever again unless he comes back to AEW.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, maybe Cody's the signee on Saturday. I'm kidding. I'm surprised that the IWC hasn't gone, oh, Cody's coming back to AEW because he can't get it done in WWE.
Honestly, I don't think we'll ever see Cody Rhodes in AEW ever again.
No. So, how do we elevate him? That's why I said keeping him elevated from November 25th or whatever it is, the big CM Punk night, to April is just really hard unless you just cram Cody Rhodes down everybody's throat. Well, they did that with Roman. They turned on Roman quick as shit. So that's why I say you just need to let the dude lose up until Fastlane or whatever it is. I mean,
and maybe you have him lose, put him in Rumble, and maybe you have him lose, in the last 2 or 3 guys, and then he earns it back at Elimination Chamber because that's the big pay-per-view in between. Man, I don't know. He's hot right now, but also I noticed he had a really good pop, but Jey Uso has a really good pop right now with the fans. And I don't know how much of it is audio feed from WWE because that's what they're famous for.
especially right now.
But I thought Uso's pop was bigger than Cody's on Monday night. And I just watched the one segment But Jey Uso, he's got the merch now with the shirt that says "Yeet" on it, and he had everybody screaming that, and so I don't know. That's just my 2 cents on that. I still think Cody, in my heart, I still want Cody to win at WrestleMania 40.
So let me ask you this then, Shep. The winner of the Rumble gets a Mania match.
Correct.
Who do you have win the Rumble? And do they go night 1 against Roman and then Cody takes night 2? Or do you have the biggest swerve in history and somebody wants to take on like Logan Paul for the U.S. title? Or Seth Rollins? I guess we do have Rollins' belt now, so I guess they could challenge him instead.
Yeah, you could have Seth Rollins main event one night for the heavyweight championship and then Roman for the Universal Championship or whatever the hell you call it. If you want to throw a swerve in it, at number 27 or 8, you have The Rock enter and win. Okay, and The Rock wins night 1 in Philly, and then Cody goes over night 2. Because as big as Roman Reigns is, he's big right now, right? We can all agree.
Yeah.
Rock is bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So if you want to give Cody the rocket up the rear end, it'd be a bigger win over The Rock than it would Roman. So if you want to get The Rock involved, he wins the Rumble. He wins night 1. He beats the family. You build up the whole family legacy of the Samoan family, right? Which would be a hell of a story in its own. And then you have The Rock take on Cody night 2, and Cody wins, beats The Rock.
The only problem I have with that, I know the IWC, they're going to go, well, Rock's not a professional wrestler anymore. He doesn't wrestle as much as Cody and Roman, and he just had a match the night before. That's the only reason Cody beat him.
It's professional wrestling. They need to get over that shit.
I know, but
that's the keyboard warriors. I still think that'd be a hell of a story, though.
It would.
I mean, if you Cody held the NWA championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
He beat Nick Aldis.
Yeah,
great opponent. He held the ROH championship. Okay, he's held some really big championships. This is the one his dad never held. Okay,
right.
Who bigger in the WWE is bigger than nobody? So if you're going to go over anybody and hold what your dad never had, it has to be The Rock, right? And don't get me wrong, love Ric Flair, love Stone Cold, love all those guys. But right now, that would be the biggest guy to go over. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But it could work, is what I'm saying.
So at that point, do you have, okay, let's say we'll go with your scenario here. Rock wins night 1. Takes on Cody night 2. Do you have the family or the bloodline or whatever we want to call them? Do we have them get involved, not directly involved in the match, but show up, distract The Rock, Cody rolls up?
No, you don't. Night 2, you have a clean match because that means more. If you're gonna try to put Cody on a pedestal, which we all thought we were gonna do last year, you have The Rock come down, and maybe backstage the Rock tells the Samoan family, "Leave me alone. Don't want you guys down here. I don't want to see one of you ringside." Okay, and if that's the case, he goes down there and Cody gets him clean with no outside interference, nothing, no distractions. Yeah, you got to make it where Cody is over the top. Okay, if they're going to do this, Cody's got to be over the top, and that's the only way to do it. If we use The Rock as an example, if not, night one you have Seth Rollins versus whoever for the WWE Championship, and then night two you have Roman and Cody. But I still think if you get up Cody's ass, man, him beating The Rock over Roman's even bigger.
Yeah.
And
Very
then
true.
and then you turn around, The Rock's gone because he got beat, right? Then you turn around at SummerSlam, and you have The Rock versus Roman because Roman says, "Man, you never beat me. You beat The Rock. You never beat me, man." So then you have a SummerSlam match already built up that could draw thousands, millions, whatever. You know what I mean? Give me the pencil. Give me the pencil, bro. Come on, let's go.
I actually kind of like it. All right.
Yeah. I'll tell Hunter next week.
All right. You do that. You pick up the phone, you call him and Mr. Hickenbottom and tell him the truth.
Mr. Hickenbottom's too busy with NXT, but whatever.
Well, but I mean, if you tell Hickenbottom might tell Levesque, and then there you go.
Yeah. Actually, WWE, I'll give them right now. They got a lot of good storylines going on. The Judgment Day. I love Dom. Dom right now is good. The booze piped over his promos a little much, but I think Dom's in a good spot right now. Rhea Ripley's over. Gunther is over. He's had some great freaking matches. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere here of late, The Miz is coming back. The Miz is super entertaining. So they got some good stuff going on.
We got some big upcoming shows overseas for WWE. Or they have, not we have, but they have. Fans have. Gunther is on a probation period or whatever where he's not allowed to work outside the U.S. Do you think Miz is going to win the IC title? I know Miz is number one contender. I don't know if they've had the match when they're having the match. I don't know if that's a Survivor Series.
I think it is at Survivor Series.
Because then we head overseas after Survivor Series for premium live events. So
they've made a comment that the Miz has one more run left in him, and it's going to be a babyface run. I could see the Miz going over Gunther. And I mean, he's already the longest reigning IC champion. He beat the Honky Tonk Man, right? So that there's a quiz right there for you there, Paul. The old IC championship.
We've done the IC championship.
Did we really? God,
yes.
I drink too much.
I had to go back and look at what we've done already.
Yes, I don't remember
because
that one.
I think I missed Honky Tonk Man.
You did. Okay, I do remember that now. You did because I laughed at you. Like how do you forget Honky Tonk Man?
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I could see Miz getting one last run. Okay.
All right. So I'd be okay with that,
especially as a face. Miz is super entertaining, whether he's a heel or a face. So a lot of dirt sheets are saying that he's got one last run in him, and it's going to be on the face side. So,
and we kind of saw that at the Jeweled Crown or Crown Jewel or Saudi Arabia, whatever it was called. He worked as a face there.
That was the we call that the Oil Tycoon Princess Wrestling Show.
Yes, where women can't show skin.
No, but we can charge $4 a gallon for gas.
So, all right. I'm glad you enjoyed the Miz. I think the Miz is underutilized, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think he is too. So, there's some stuff in WWE that I can't stand, but there's stuff in AEW that I obviously have a problem with. So
That makes you a wrestling fan.
yeah. I'm never satisfied.
Exactly.
I'm just not as big as an asshole as Jim Cornette. So there we go.
Wow.
And I'm not as famous as Jim Cornette either. So.
Except in Spain where we beat him for a couple hours.
Yeah, take that, Jim Cornette. Get your ass in Spain, you douchebag. Sorry.
Yeah.
Actually, I like some of what Jim Cornette does. And
So do I.
Brian Last, who's his co-host on both podcasts, Brian Last is a really entertaining guy. I've never met him in person, but I feel like Brian Last and I could sit down and have a beer and have a great conversation. So I do enjoy him on the podcast.
All right.
Jim Cornette, you're still an asshole, though. Brian Last, you and I can be buddies. If they ever see this, then there we go.
Cornette, please don't murder Paul White any more than he already was this week.
Oh God, can you? I can't wait to listen to. I can't wait to listen to Cornette. In fact, I think we should tag Cornette and Brian Last in this podcast just so they would listen to what we say about him. Because I think this might be the few times that you, me, and Tanner agree with Jim Cornette when it comes to Paul, when it comes to an AEW superstar.
Yes. R.I.P. Paul White.
He's gone. He gone.
Is this gonna lead to a pink jacket Mark Henry promo where it's time to hang it up, and then you have the one of the bigger names in the company come down, and then Paul says screw you and lays him out?
No. Here's why. Because when that whole promo happened, it was with John Cena, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Paul or Mark Henry could still move. Okay. Paul White, could you imagine him trying to take a coat off right now? He couldn't move. He couldn't do it.
He didn't even take the coat off in the match tonight.
Which was dumb. That was so stupid that they had Jericho and him dress up. I know it was sponsored, and they probably got paid millions of dollars to do it, or $100,000, whatever. So dumb. Jericho doesn't come out. Whatever. So stupid.
To me, though, you had Jericho dressed in suits, and you had the Golden Lovers in actual wrestling attire. It separated the two teams within the one team.
Dumb. Super dumb.
What'd Jericho say one night on AEW after the purple hat appeared? Stupid creative by stupid, I don't remember. Stupid idea by stupid creative or something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing there.
I got nothing. Anyways.
You got anything else?
No, we should wrap her up, Paul. Oh, hey, no, I do got one thing. It was announced this week that Andrade is going to do 3 GCW shows.
Yes.
Starting in, I think, December, January, February. He's doing one a month. And
I think that's right.
The first opponent they did announce yesterday was Joey Janela, which I think Janela can have somewhat of a wrestling match. Janela can have, obviously, the death match and all that stuff that gets a little over the line, but I think he'd actually have a regular match with Andrade. So I was shocked that Andrade signed a 3-match deal with GCW because it's not his style, not his gig.
Right.
But Brett Lauderdale at GCW was pumped about it, and obviously he got it done. So we're going to see, I think it's in Los Angeles in December, Janela versus Andrade for GCW.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Other than that, that's all I got. Hopefully we don't. So hopefully, you don't want to see Andrade and like Nick Gage and,
dude.
Yeah, stuff that Andrade is such a good professional wrestler. Okay, and I'm not just saying that because he's with AEW. I loved his shit in NXT. His match with Gargano was stupid in NXT. Like, the guy can go, obviously. So I don't want him to put with some slubs. And nothing against Nick Gage. It's just not his style, right?
Kind of like when it was Andrade and Flair versus Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Well, I mean, come
Three
on.
people carried that match.
Well, that's because Flair passed out because he was dehydrated because he drank for 3 straight days during the whole ceremony. Bless his heart. I would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing.
Yes.
If somebody's gonna have a weekend like celebrating around me, I'm gonna party for 3 straight days. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Hey, Shep, we're getting kind of close to Christmas here. It's coming up pretty quickly, believe it or not. So you know what you should do? You should tell everybody that you want stuff or buy people stuff from kickingOutShop.com. Like, I mean, you could get those Austin 317 shirts that say, or Shep 317 that say, make it a double.
Let's make it a double. I mean,
who
doesn't want a double?
Yeah. You can find it at Kicking Out Shop. You can get hoodie. You can get a t-shirt. You can get a beer glass, coffee mug, hat. Perfect gift for everybody. KickingOutShop.com.
Great stocking stuffers.
Yes. Or actual gifts. Either way.
You can stuff the t-shirt in the stocking. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true.
Yes.
Or put it in a box inside of a box inside of a box inside of a box inside of a box.
Well, that's kind of mean of you, Paul, but you could do that as well.
I might have gotten my dad a gift card one year and put it in just bigger boxes each time till he thought he had this really big gift, and then he had to go through like 6 boxes to get to a gift card that was taped to the bottom of the first box.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Paul. That's a dick move. But
he's done it to me.
It's kind of funny because you did it to the professor. So
exactly.
Yeah, but no, buy her shit. It's good shit.
There's the Vinny reference for the night.
That's right.
It's good shit. KickingOutShop.com.
It's good shit.
If Vince McMahon sponsors us, holy crap. Not just us, but Kicking Out Shop. Can you imagine that?
I'd tell you what, if Vinnie Mac would sponsor us, I would shave this stuff and grow the greatest Vinnie Mac mustache and give that guy more props, even though he's a scumbag because he's whatever. But
yeah.
Anyways, if he sponsors us, I'll do the mustache and get rid of the goatee. I mean, I already got the gray beard. I got the double chin. I mean, might as well have this fucking great 70s porn mustache.
Lots of wrinkles. You got to add in the wrinkles.
I ain't got no wrinkles. Dude, Botox.
No, but he does.
I know, but I got Botox. You know, I do that Botox shit.
Yeah, it helps migraines.
No, you know what helps migraines? Vodka.
All right, Shep. Be sure to follow the Kicking Out podcast on all social media at. Be sure to listen to the Kicking Out podcast wherever it is you listen to your podcast. If that happens to be Apple Podcasts, leave us that 5-star review because we are 5-star KOP. And with that, be sure to follow Tanner Lee on all social media at TannerLee92. Be sure to follow Austin Shepard at TheShep27. Be sure to follow myself at Paul Zartman921. And with that, for Tanner Lee, Austin Shepard, I'm Paul Zartman. Join us again next week as we kick out yet another podcast.